I did a little costume change. Not really, just took my drink. Okay, are there any other big differences between daytime and part-time?
The biggest thing for me is when you audition, it's the emotional play that you have with it. You know, in most series you get like 2 or 3 scenes, you get kind of an understanding of the character. You're not tipping the hat to where what is going on in the scene. For daytime, the biggest thing is that the one scene that you get for the audition is the only scene you have. And your character is helping push along that storyline, no matter what the storyline is. And so it's trying to find an emotional arc within that character. It's hard for under 5s. It's really hard to explain because you have co-stars like, here's your coffee, simple lines, but especially in daytime, they're not written just because, or to take up time. There's actually a reason for you to be in that moment, in that scene. Even, you know, if you're a character, you're a doctor, you're a nurse, it's finding what is that emotional arc. Where am I going to hit it and how am I going to bring the audience in? We show a new episode every single day. So the biggest thing about our show is that if somebody's tuning in today, I want them to tune in tomorrow. Typical breakdown of our show, first 5 minutes is always recap. Why? Because not everybody watches our show every day. Or somebody's been on vacation for 3 weeks and their DVR was stupid. And then the next, like 10 minutes is new story, where the characters are going, you know, whether, like I said, even in the recap, it's like, oh yeah, those other characters we haven't talked about in a little bit, they're coming back. And then the last 5 minutes of every single episode is cliffhanger, so you tune in the next day. Right. So it's kind of knowing your part and knowing your
cliffhanger every episode.
Every episode. It's a lot.
It's a lot. How do they keep coming up with stories?
I know, it's crazy, man.
You're a couple weeks out from when you cast the role. When they shoot it, like, so let's say you shot 2 today, when does that episode air?
Usually about a month.
Because they gotta be like, blah, blah, blah. For soap operas,
yes.
Does everybody have to be good looking to be on it?
Yeah. For our show in specific, obviously you want to have somebody that you can be versatile with. You want to have a hot, good-looking girl, a hot, good-looking dude, because, you know, they might be in a couple and then somebody's cousin comes over and wants to get in on, you know, date the boyfriend and all that. So you do want people to be versatile and respect and be comfortable with their body, because obviously there's sex things.
Nudity.
Daytime nudity. So it's something that we like to keep in mind. You know, when people watch and they go, oh, he's cute, I'm going to tune in tomorrow and see who this person is, you know? It's getting the audience into it and connected. But we do have quirky roles. I was going to say, like, the smaller parts, maybe like some of the recurrings or the principals can be like a quirky character actor or something like that. Exactly. A few years ago, we had Monica Horan and Jim O'Hare on our show, and they play a couple that happen to be flying to all these different places, and one of our characters will end up getting stuck in the middle of them on an airplane seat. And so they have a lot of great comedy things that they pull in, and they actually both won Emmys for that. Oh, wow. Diversity. Diversity is very important to us. We try our best. I'll be honest, it's hard because our storyline is a white family in Beverly Hills, and we try to bring in different types of diversity for our show. I do have to hire all the extras on my show. Oh, we have to talk about that in a second. I like to make our sets representative of Los Angeles, because we're the only soap opera that's actually based in a real city. Oh, the ones are fake cities? Yes. Oh, they're all fake cities. I don't watch any soaps. Okay. I can't keep up with a daily show. So that's my biggest thing. Me and my boss too, like I said, we're looking for the best actor, we're looking for the diversity as well to keep our show relevant. Does diversity come in more in the smaller roles, or do you guys have contract people that are diverse? We have a few contract people that are diverse. I know that, like, with our writers and whatnot, that is something that have been trying to work on, is to open up that field, open up that door, and we're just waiting to see kind of what happens. That's one of the hard things though too, is like, soap opera, it's been on for 33 years. If somebody's playing a role and they leave after their contract is done, but we want to bring that role back, we have to recast the character. Right now there's a new actor on our show, Matthew Atkinson, who plays Thomas. This character of Thomas has probably been recast 7 times throughout his lifetime, as like a child all the way up till now. You always get people that love the new one or they hate the new one. Everybody has their opinion. But when we're looking for, oh my gosh, those people in Italy, when we're looking for somebody, we'll be like, they have to be white. You know, he can't all of a sudden have a Hispanic son. Like, that doesn't work for what our show is, because it's carrying on a legacy of what the show is. I know you only worked on bold people, but like, are all soaps like that too? No, there's different, what a lot of soaps will do is they introduce different families into their show. For us, we have had different families that were introduced, and then the storyline just kind of went, petered itself out. I think all the shows have different families involved with any ethnicity, trying to connect people, and so people can relate to the characters on the show. What do you think about people talking about, like,
soap acting, or like how like some actors like don't want to be on a soap opera because it's like not real act, or like they like think it's less than, or like,
you know, when I first started, I had never really watched Daytime. I never knew anything about it. My greatest example is I was watching, after I got hired, I was there, and one of our characters, Steffi, Jackie McInnes Wood, she had to do a scene where she walks outside this house and she stops and the moonlight's looking, you know, beaming down on her, and she has to have a single tear go down her face. And she does, and I hear, cut, do it again, the lighting was off. She goes back in, 2 minutes later, comes out, stops, single tear, down her face. Crap, audio was off, do it again. They did it 4 times, and every single time she hit it. I think Daytime, in that respect, is such a great ground for people getting their feet wet and learning how to be on set, and learning how to be together.
Right, because you're on set all day, every day.
And your emotions have to be on your sleeve.
Yeah.
They have to be ready to go, no matter where you're at.
Because you're only doing like 2-3 takes.
Exactly.
Probably get so good at memorizing super quickly.
Exactly.
Because you're like literally memorizing a whole episode every day.
Right.
For the next day.
Well, totally.
While shooting an episode
Yeah,
that day.
while shooting an episode that day.
Or 2.
Mm-hmm. What I've been finding is that a lot of the Hallmark or Lifetime movies, the holiday movies, they've been using a lot of soap actors because they work on a very tight schedule too. They'll shoot an entire movie in like 2 weeks or 20 days or something like that. And a lot of the soap actors, it's easy for them. Oh, this is only 60 pages. I've got this, you know, like, so they can jump into it. But yeah, I think it's a great training ground. I think, you know, learning how to be on set, how to, you know, manage your time, hair and makeup, getting to where you need to be, being ready to go, all that. It's such a great place to begin. I've seen people who have done Daytime go into Primetime and then come back. I think personally it's because of the steadiness of Daytime that you're consistently working. There's always something happening. There's always something to work with. And as you know, in Primetime you're lucky if you get a guest star, let alone a recurring guest star, let alone the recurring being more consecutive than every, you know, once a month.
Yeah, so, or lucky if you get a pilot and the pilot gets picked up, or all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm just gonna do it. When you're like going through breakdowns, like what makes somebody stand out for you? What makes somebody their headshot stand out for you in that sea of 2000? And is there something different that you're looking for Daytime and headshots than what you would have looked for a pilot in Primetime? Besides being good looking and white. So, but you know, is there a different quality you're looking for in headshots for Daytime, or is it you're just looking for the best actor still? But like, and if that's the case, then what makes somebody stand out, their headshot stand out in general?
Any case at any casting office, there's a role. Karen, woman in her 30s, you know, has a suspicious past, but you know, whatever the character breakdown might be. But really, I know that it's so-and-so's cousin from, you know, generations ago, and they're coming back to steal back there because their cousin stole their name, and they're, you know, all these different sinister things or whatever. So there's a lot more of a history and a background that I have when I'm looking through things.
It's not put in.
Correct. Yeah, because we don't want to put out so much information. So it's matching that up. It's seeing people who have had either roles similar or something that would work with this. We also love to give people shots. Just give them a try. Just be like, like, I don't know who this is, but their resume is looks pretty interesting, or I looked at their reel and you know, I think let's have them come in. Let's just have them read. There's no harm in having them read, you know. The biggest thing about having people read is how much time we have. Because even if we're just seeing 12 people, that's an hour. The longest session I've ever had in my life, it's one of my pilots, we had 38 people, and that casting session took over 3 hours. It just wears you out. Keep hearing the same thing over and over again. And I'll also get as people say like, oh, you didn't bring me in for the nurse. And I'm like, right, because next week we're going to be doing a doctor, and I think you would be better for that. Those are the different things that I have to think of as well, is like, yes, this person could do this, or could I, you know, hold off and use them as something better or a bigger role. My office, what we're great at is if you come in and you read and we like you, if you're not right for the role, we have a certain file that we keep. And so we'll sit down and sometimes be like, okay, so we're looking for, you know, a car salesman. Hey, remember that guy that we brought in for that one thing? And we thought it was supposed to be a sneaky role, but he was a little too sneaky. What if we use him? You know, those kind of things. And so
one of my questions is going to be like, how often do you bring someone like that you like? How often do you bring them back in? Because you're casting so much, you're casting so many episodes, and like if you like someone, you can bring them back in. Because also you don't send them on because tape's not going on. Whereas like in Primetime, you don't want to send the same actor for every episode because then they're going to oversaturate. And why do you keep seeing the same actor? like how often do you bring someone back if you like them? Like as often as you can.
As often as we can. And that's the thing is, like I said, since we only have like a week or two out of what our scripts are, we don't really know where we're going sometimes. Sometimes like, oh, hey, by the way, somebody needs a kidney. Oh, okay, we're gonna have a doctor's seat. You know, like those are the things that just kind of come up last minute. And even sometimes my boss will be at her desk and they'll get a call and be like, okay, we're looking for a new contract role. Okay. Right. So my day changes on a dime. But also too, it's different than I'm not signing up for a pilot.
Right.
I'm still working on my show, but I might have contract roles that I'm looking for.
Right.
New series right away. So yeah, I don't have a pilot season. Like, oh, this is gonna be a relaxed day. Never say that out loud if you're in casting, because that never happens. Or we'll be looking for a contract role, right? I'll call back and be like, oh wait, what about that other person, you know, that we talked about? We should just offer them that role. You know, so it just depends on.
How many new roles do you see an episode on average? Well, I've seen that many breakdowns for you guys.
Our show, the way that it's written is usually within the outlines. They'll kind of hint at somebody else being new. Maybe like every few weeks we get like, oh yeah, there's a Spencer employee in this episode. There's going to be a waitress in this episode. And then we kind of have to wait to see the script to see if that actually stays in there before we jump ship. But we might have some sessions, have some people that we like. And when it does work out, be like, hey, are you free Thursday? You know, so we can just get them in for that. There's no rhyme or reason, you know. Last year, we only had like 3 people on contract that we hired for that year. The year before, I think we had 7. There's no way to tell.
For under 5s and principals, that's also they fluctuate too. Like,
completely. Like even this next week of shooting that we have coming up, all the guest stars, or Dayplayers is what we call them. All the Dayplayers that are in are people that have recruited or have been on before. Okay. So we didn't have to look for anybody new. I just had to make sure they were available for the dates for shooting.
Do you ever have to recast Dayplayers? Like recurring? Like you said, you had to do for contracts, but like let's say they want to bring somebody back for a storyline, but that person is not available at all.
They probably would. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen anything like that yet. Right. But I've only been in daytime for years. I'm still young and new.
When you do you look at their reel and their resume too when you bring people in? Do you look at the whole package? Is it just the headshot? Is it pen?
It depends on a breakdown. If you have your reel connected to it, I will see it there. If you don't, that doesn't mean I'm not bringing you in. It's just kind of looking for, the whole package of what I can see. Does your headshot represent you? Does your resume? What have you done before?
Do you guys keep notes on people?
Yes. Yes, we do. One of the other things we do too, because our show is big internationally, that we'll sometimes put out breakdowns for a French reporter or an Italian reporter. And a lot of people will be, I can do the accent. The biggest problem is we show in those countries. So if it's not an authentic accent, I cannot bring you in. If you are literally not from France, I can't bring you in. Because somebody's going to be like, oh, that was terrible. Who was it when Brad Pitt did?
I just watched Jumanji yesterday. The Rock had to do an impersonation of Danny DeVito with a British accent, and it was But then Aquafina became Danny DeVito, and she was hilarious.
That's amazing.
Do you have a file for like people you don't like, or like you don't bring back in, or like blacklisted, or like
we will put
naughty list?
We will put notes. Like on breakdown as a way to put notes. We've had people before who have, because our show is so big, high profile, same things happen at Young and Restless, and we kind of let each other know if this has happened, where somebody will check in at CBS and they're here to audition, and if they look a certain way, then the audience knows that we're recasting or we're doing something. So it's very specific about like people what they can and what they can't say. There was an extra once who walked around with a camera and showed the set and everything. Huge no. Yeah, we cannot rehire.
And what about like if somebody comes in and has a bad audition? Like let's say they're just having a bad day or something like that. Like do you like take that into consideration?
Absolutely.
It's like okay, they had a bad day, like we can still bring them back in for something else.
Yes, absolutely. There's been several people before who have come in and they've just kind of like couldn't get the words together, were frustrated for whatever reason, and we were both like, well, they looked right, but they didn't come together. Let's hold on to them for next time. Yeah. Let's check out and see. And so sometimes we'll look and see, they were similar. Let's see how they are with this role, We don't hold it against you, I promise.
Do you do a lot of redirects? Do you do multiple takes with them, or is it kind of just like let them do their thing?
Usually the first audition is always let you do your thing. You see what character you've created, where you've gone with it. Are you super angry? Are you still seeing the passion? Whatever it may be in that role. When you come in usually for a callback, that's going to have scenes that are more closely related to the character that we're bringing you in for. And that's going to be another thing. And we'll play with that, and we'll work with you, and we may redirect at that point. But usually an initial audition for us is just saying what you're going to do.
Cool. How can people get on your radar? Do you go see shows?
I do. I love going to theater. You know, if you have a knack for comedy, it can play into drama. I love going to workshops and showcases and things like that, just to get to know people and see what they have. We see millions of actors all the time,
right.
but there's always that one person that we've never seen before.